This week, our daily devotions are going to be along the theme of who is Jesus to you? And we're going to be looking at different scriptures from the New Testament that talk about and refer to Jesus in different ways and encourage each of us to come to a firm and solid conviction about who we believe Jesus is or who we know him to be and what that means for our lives. My sermon today is who is Jesus to you and what that means. So I want to start with the passage I'm preaching on today. It's from Matthew 16, verses 13 to 20, which I encourage you to read. And Jesus asks a question in chapter 16, verse 15. He asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And then in verse 15 he says, "But who do you say that I am?" So first he's asking the disciples, hey, what's the word on the street? What are people saying about me? And some of their answers are John the Baptist, Elijah, still others, Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Well, what does that tell us? Well, it says that people saw Jesus in a very significant way in the line of the great prophets of Israel. People who put their lives on the line for their faith and for God. Elijah and Jeremiah both suffered greatly, both risked death to be faithful. John the Baptist had been killed and executed for his faith, so they see him in a long line of figures, but they're historical figures. They're only looking backward and saying, yes, Jesus is in this line of significant people. But then Jesus asked the disciples, but who do you say that I am? And that's when Simon Peter answered, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Peter's answer takes who Jesus is from the past and brings it both into the present. You are the Messiah, or the Christ, the Son of the living God. And God lives and reigns forever, so it's a sense of which Peter is the first one to articulate exactly who Jesus is. And I wonder if somebody asked you today in the grocery store, or if you're in a walk in your neighborhood, hey, I understand you're connected to Brewster Baptist Church. Who is Jesus to you? What would your answer be? Do you have a good, concise, clear answer that you could tell someone if anyone stopped you and said, I understand you're a Christian? Who is Jesus to you? If you want to know my answer to that question, I encourage you to come to worship or to listen to my sermon. And I'm going to tell you 4 ways that I answer that question of who is Jesus to me and why it matters.